Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 26 of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host Josh Summersgill.
On today's podcast we have Dan Abram. Dan has played semi-professional rugby for Whitehaven, Rochdale and Oldham, I believe. I don't know whether I've missed anyone out, but they're the ones I know of.
Just Barrow, really missed
Barrow. You know what? I've actually got them written down. I just cut it off my screen.
Could have missed it. Yeah, it's all right. We'll forget about them.
Yeah, they were ages ago anyway.
Yeah, in a past.
So what we're going to do today as well is obviously I'll leave it to Dan to introduce himself a little bit more in a second, but we're going to talk a bit about rugby, but Josh knows nothing about rugby. So he's going to keep us on an even keel today and ask questions when we're talking about stuff. So
I got your back, audience, don't worry.
Yeah. So when nobody knows what we're on about, it'll be Josh keeping us on course. And obviously I class Dan as a utility half, so plays pretty much anywhere. Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought I'd forewarn you there. So basically, Dan can play a bit anywhere in the back line, basically. I would say so. I think you preferred positions, full back or standoff.
Yeah, it's full back at the minute. Yeah, so
I got that one.
You know that one.
I feel like Captain America in the Avengers.
That's it. I know that one.
But yeah, so Dan, just first of all, give us a quick breakdown of how you started playing rugby, because I know your dad was a semi-professional rugby player as well. So professional. So give us a quick breakdown. How did you get into it, and how did you end up playing for Barrow originally?
Rugby started a long time ago for me, and obviously from being a little kid, I was watching my dad play, and then he went on to coaching, so I followed him right through that bit. All I kind of knew as a kid was rugby, until I probably went to school and started playing a bit of football and other sports and going through that way. As soon as I first got the chance, I joined Lim Rugby Club, which I then moved to Warrington a few years later, but it was just all touch rugby, just all rugby related stuff. It was for a number of years. I then got picked up by Warrington Wolves in the academy there. And obviously that excited me a bit more, so we pushed on again. And I was playing for, I think it was about 14 or 15, and Sale came into me at the same time as well. So I was playing probably Monday, I think I was on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Sale, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday with Warrington. It's at the age of 14, 15, 16. So it was just everything I was doing then just kind of broke down. It was just rugby. We kind of stopped the football, we stopped the cricket, whatever else we were kind of doing. And then we just played rugby right through then. At the age of 16, I kind of got made to make a decision whether I wanted to play rugby union or wanted to play rugby league. And I chose the league route, and which I'm still in at the minute. So that was real good. I then joined St. Helens because Saints kind of said to me, look, we'll let you carry on union for a little bit longer.
Right.
But at one point we will need you to make a choice whether you want to play rugby league or you want to play rugby union.
Right.
So I've played, whether it's through the school level, through the kind of amateur, and then right through to county. And I played a little bit of North of England as well.
Nice.
That's on the union side, and then right through the scholarships and different things like that. I played the rugby league side of things.
Cool. So what drew you to league over union? Was it just you preferred league, or was it?
Well, at the time I was playing at Warrington Rugby Union Club, and I was also playing at Bold Miners, which is linked with the St. Helens Club. And I think it's because most of my school friends were playing union, and I was playing that, but then I kind of preferred the league side of sport, and I think that's what my dad played and coached. So I think that's kind of led me that way to follow his footpaths in a way, but just at the same time I just enjoyed playing both until I had to make that decision. That's when I made it.
Cool. So what got you onto Barrow's books eventually? Because I know you was in the youth system for Warrington, like you say.
Yeah, so I was Warrington, I moved to Saints, and then my back end of the under-18s I joined Huddersfield.
Right.
After that season at Huddersfield offered me another academy contract, but the guy who was coaching North England at the time in our England academy the year before had moved out to Australia.
Right.
And he got in touch with me because there's a few lads like Ben Moores, Gavin Benyon, that were already out there, and he said, look, Dan, they've played for a year. We'd like you to come and join us and play out in Australia for you if you're interested.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to come to a decision at 18 whether I wanted to kind of develop through and go through the Huddersfield books and try and make it full-time with them, or just take a once-in-a-lifetime shot and go and play in Australia for a bit of rugby.
Nice.
So I made that choice and lived out in Australia. I think it was about just short of a year, and loved every moment of it.
Yeah,
What
awesome.
was that like?
Oh, it's amazing. It was never home for me. It was just like a year out holiday of just playing some good rugby, or they call it footy out there.
Yeah.
Just meeting some new guys, playing with lads from Warrington, which was quite nice. Having that English side of things, but also living that Australian lifestyle. So it was good, really good.
So obviously, as you know, I don't know that much about rugby.
Yeah.
One thing I do remember when I was a little bit younger, my uncle was watching the Aussie rugby league, and
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just sort of like how much faster the game looked compared to like over here. Is that true?
Yeah. It's a lot quicker out there. All everything about there is just speed, and they want to play it as quick as they can. The skill level's another level compared to ours, really. That's right through from amateur right up. Some of the guys that were playing in our league,
difference over there when you went.
Yeah, definitely 100%. The guys, all they live and breathe is football or rugby, I should say, out there. Every day on the TV, there's a rugby program or there's a rugby game or something like that. So it's literally like our football, but a bit bigger.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the speed is a lot quicker, and the players are just a lot more skillful. It's like our football in a way that at school all they play is rugby.
Yeah.
So I think I know of a couple of lads that went over to Australia. I think they recruited quite a few people, didn't they, at the time? I know from my year group there was a lad called John O'Smith. Over there and played for a year or so. And I know that their experiences were as much as on the pitch it was good to play. I know they had some good experiences off the pitch with Mad Mondays and things like that.
It's always the way, and I think it's always driven into the rugby boys. But as much as we are serious on the pitch, we do like to have a drink and a little bit of party off it as well. So it is good.
Therefore, have you got any stories that you can tell us that can be put on online?
On here,
These are always the good ones, aren't they? That's
no, most of it was because it was quite good. There was 3 lads from Warrington. There was me, Gavin Benyon, and Ben Moores, and then there was also a lad that I played with at Saints from Oldham, called Lewis Galbraith. Or his nickname was Trigger, and he was a bit of a mad box. But it was quite good fun because me, Gav, and Trig, we all lived together in a house, and then Morsey was living with an Aussie because he had already been out there a year before us as well. Right. So it was just a good laugh that we have also had that English community with us that we could go around, sightsee if we needed to, go and find some mountain pools and jump off some rocks and stuff like that, or just kind of stick with it with the Aussie boys for a few barbecues or different things like that. So it was everything we do was quite good. We had both the mixture of home and away, of being on holiday.
Awesome. Awesome. I like it. I know. Where was you in Australia? New South Wales, Queensland?
No, it's Queensland. So we were in a little town called Serena, which was just off Mackay in Townsville.
Right. Okay.
So it was literally just there's not much around it in Serena. It was just footy related based little city. Nothing around it other than outback. And then you'd have to travel. I think it took us about 45 minutes to get into an actual town or city, which was smaller than Warrington if you think about it then.
Wow. Yeah, because I've only ever been to New South Wales. I went to visit my girlfriend like years ago now. And I always thought of New South Wales as the safe part of Australia because Queensland and everything can kill you. Do you know?
Yeah, that's the way. You see, if you actually the first time we pulled up to our house, we jumped out of the car from the airport. We meet the guy who's kind of owns the house. He pulls away his shoes and a snake slithers off, and Gav's like, "No way am I living in here."
I think that's back on the plane.
Yeah. So that was funny.
Brilliant. So obviously you come back from over there, you play for Barrow, and then you move on to Whitehaven and Rochdale. I think you were a member of the gym with us when you were at Rochdale, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
It was last year, the last start of last year, really, wasn't it? So I was at Rochdale then. So as I came back from Oz, I joined Barrow. I spent 2 years there, I think it was. And then just up the road, Whitehaven got in touch with me and were interested in me coming to join them for that following season.
Yeah.
So I did a year at Whitehaven, then come back and signed at Rochdale just because the travel was a bit much at Whitehaven. It was taking me 2.5 hours travelling up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then also playing on a weekend. So joined back Rochdale. It's a bit local, got a bit more family time in and time training on my own or just around the house, really.
Awesome.
And then obviously join you guys as well.
Yeah, and with regards to training at Rochdale and us, first of all, I know you've obviously told me the story of how you found us, but just for people listening, how did you actually come across CrossFit and CrossFit LST? So how did we get to know you, basically?
I was always interested in CrossFit anyway, just because I like the way they train, the intensity, and it's kind of always pushing you to that next level. It's really good for rugby, I think, because it's one, you got to be explosive, powerful, strength, and it gives you that facility that you need kind of to have each element. There's always something that you can improve on.
Yeah.
So I always think that's good with rugby because we're kind of always needing them aspects. For CrossFit, obviously I was watching it as much as I can on whether it's YouTube, Netflix, whatever it's on.
Yeah.
And then I kind of looked about and seen you guys. There's a few people that I think had been. So I kind of got in touch and come down that way.
Excellent. Something we're interested in is, because most people, to be fair, when they come to CrossFit at the end of playing rugby, so they retire from rugby and they pack it in because they get injured like me, and they go, right, well, what, like, so they sort of find it as a replacement for rugby as such.
Yeah.
So we've never really had the chance to chat to anyone as to what it's like going after maybe doing your off season and getting a bit of CrossFit in the off season. Like what impact that actually had on your fitness for rugby? Did it improve it? Did you find certain things were better than previous?
Yeah, no, it definitely improves it. And as much as I can now, I still try to do a few WODs and keep up with my fitness that way. Yeah. Because I think it's great. It pushes you to the limit that your body needs it to. It's something different rather than just going out and running. And because quite a lot of our training, we have weight sessions, we have speed sessions, and we have conditioning where it's a lot more just running up and down a field, or getting it fit games wise. There's nothing really like jumping on an assault bike or jumping on whatever we're doing with you guys. So it just breaks it down a little bit different and gets you that little bit fitter. Yeah. I felt great in the Rochdale season. That's why I still try and do a few CrossFit sessions myself, whether it's once, twice, 3 times a week, what I can do.
Nice.
So I've kind of followed that through. And the hardest thing about it was when I was playing, because the sessions are so hard, I was sore from playing. I was then sore from the WODs, and it was just getting a bit too much on my body.
Yeah.
But other than that, if I wasn't playing, I'd still be CrossFitting every day if I could.
I think something that's quite interesting is we were speaking to Matt Heaton a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like the head coach of the Warrington Wolves women's team.
Yeah.
And it was the whole. So like, in terms of yourself, when you was obviously training with us, there were certain things that you like excelled at just naturally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really explosive. It was like, right, Dan, this is a bar muscle up, and you went, Roger that, and then just started doing them.
That can
there's certain things that are going to carry over more into rugby, and there's certain things that aren't. So the example being like, right, Dan, this is what an overhead squat looks like, and you're just like,
no, don't like that.
And to be fair, to be really good at rugby, you don't need to be able to overhead squat, do you? Let's face it. Do you know what I mean? From a specificity point of view, it's just not necessary. But yeah, like anything sort of like explosive, like power cleans or anything like that, I think really tied over really well.
Yeah, that's it. Because I think it is so important. Because especially from being a young age and learning from my dad, and he was kind of drilling in what's important. For example, your deadlifts or your cleans. And he says the more that you can do them, the more explosive you are within the contact or the tackle that you kind of need. So I've been quite fortunate through my dad that I've done a little bit of that training on my own as a kid. And as we go through the ranks, you kind of learn more and more of the different techniques and things. But there's like we never did any overhead squats. We barely did any front racks or front squats. We never did any snatches. So it was great to come to you guys and kind of learn them processes and just learn that how my body can move if I keep going at it.
Yeah. And to be fair, and again, we've had this conversation like previously, but like for rugby, and I think I said this to you when you were training with us, like when we were snatching and stuff, it gets frustrating. I'd be like, I wouldn't make you snatch if I was training you to be a good rugby player. If I was trying to be fit for rugby, I wouldn't bother with this. Do you know?
That's it, yeah.
Other things that we can be doing that are more beneficial. But I'd still thought it'd be cool to find out, like you say, that it did still have a good impact on your training and on your fitness for the game as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. And even snatching, it'll probably help me rehab, help the different things of injury prevention, should I say. The more I can learn to snatch, and the more my muscles kind of expand and stuff like that. So it is good, definitely.
Excellent. So we've gone into a bit like CrossFit and rugby kind of thing, and what the benefits are. Would you recommend for, I don't know, I always think it goes up to sort of a certain level. Like once you start to get to like yourself, your semi-professional, professionals, then you get more and more specific. But obviously for the amateur guys that are out there, they've probably got a bit more time on their hands to get into it. Would you recommend rugby for people like that? Would it be something?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd still recommend it at my level, especially for if I was to do my own pre-season away from the club. I would 100% do a lot of the CrossFit workouts and a lot of CrossFit lifting and different things like that. I think it's so different as well how each coach for each club will have different conditioners and they'll train you a little bit different. So our conditioner now at Oldham, he used to be an ex-England sprinter or Olympic sprinter. So we've done a lot this season, a lot around the sprinting, speed, explosive stuff. Where last session we had or last season, should I say, when I was at Rochdale, I was quite fortunate that Miles Greenwood was our conditioner. He used to be an ex-rugby league player, but he's big into his CrossFit as well.
Okay.
So he does a lot that way. So even when I was away from you guys, a lot of our sessions, say on a Tuesday before, if we were playing on a Sunday or Tuesday, we'd do like a bit of a WOD or an assault bike, something. He had the equipment there that we could use.
Right. Okay.
So I was kind of keeping up with it that way as well. So I think it is different with each conditioner, but at the same time, now in lockdown, both myself and my brother's at Salford, we're both doing quite a bit of WODs together that way.
Nice. Good. It's nice to have somebody to train with as well, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. So we're doing different things like that. Jamie's always liked CrossFit, but never actually had the chance because he's always kind of been not a full-time environment, but he's like for Warrington that he was at last year, they were training at 6 a.m, then going back in at 3 o'clock in the evening between work. Nice. So he's never really got the chance to say, look, can I go to another gym or anything like that? He's just been full on with the rugby situation.
Yeah.
So now he's got a bit of a time to himself. He's learning more, like he's trying to, each day he's doing double unders to try and get him right and stuff like that. So, no, it's good.
It's all right, we're still working on double unders, aren't we, Josh?
Yeah,
never goes away. So it's pretty cool as well, is that you mentioned your brother and working around training. What another question that I had for you basically was, I know how hard it must be to sort of get training in, get rugby training in, and work full time. And just because I know a lot of CrossFitters listen to this that have like competitive aspirations, I think it'll maybe help them out as to how they deal with like scheduling, that kind of thing. How do you find it personally, like organising your week around the fact that you have got a full-time job as well?
And that's it, yeah.
We're all just sat at home being bums at the minute, aren't we?
No, it is hard. It's most of it's self-motivation, but I like myself to get up early, go and get it done, go get the morning as much as you can. If you're doing something in the morning, then you kind of got the rest of the day, whether you want to go and do something skill-based in the afternoon, or you just want to go and sit and watch from Netflix. At least you know you've done your workout. You've kind of gone and attacked the morning. You've got the day, and you've got the rest of the evening to yourself. So as much as I can, I like to train in the morning. Even at the minute when it's just gym-related stuff, we'll go. I think most of the lads that we train with as well, they'll train in the morning. We'll go to work. We're then in rugby at 6 o'clock. Whether that we do skills for half an hour, and then we're right into the session after that.
Nice. I like it.
So the best way is to go and do my weights work and go and do all my strength stuff in the morning, go to work, and then train in the afternoon after that.
Awesome. Again, like it's good. It's good. Like, and a lot of CrossFitters and CrossFit coaches are prescribing very similar sort of routines for people these days. Like, we're talking for people who have competitive aspirations. Like, not your general CrossFitter doesn't need to train twice a day. It's just not required. But I think it's good that it comes back to something we've talked about before, where we're like, and Josh calls it, I can't remember what the book's called. The book might be called Eat the Frog, actually. But it's just...
There it is.
Just basically getting the hardest thing out of the way first, and it's like, this is going to be... Like, it's easy to make excuses at 6 o'clock at night when you're tired and you're hungry and your willpower's drained down. But then, like, you get up, you get it done, and you're good to go for the day, aren't you? So,
and that's it. And that's what I'm still trying to do, even in this lockdown situation. Going every morning at the minute, me and the missus will go on a walk. We'll get that done first, and then she'll go to work, and she's still working, and I'll go and get my training done after that. At least everything's done straight away. Then you're right on track. It wakes you up, and you're happy to go then for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I like it. Something that I was like, the reason I think that works, and again, personally, like for me, I'll get my training done whether it's 10 o'clock at night, just to get it in. Doesn't matter so much for me. But something I was talking about with like nutrition clients with, it's like, if you imagine that you've got a limited amount of willpower, and you got to prioritize your willpower as such. So what's most important? Okay, getting my training done is most important. So it's going to take less willpower to get up and just do it in the morning than it does if I've got to do it at 10 o'clock at night, for example. So, and
that's it. Yeah, and I always find you feel better throughout the day if you get it done first thing, or if you can do. But at least you know what's going on and getting that schedule right. I'm actually reading.
With yourself, because obviously you used to, when you was training with us, you was there at 6 a.m, wasn't you? You was one of the 6 a.m. lads. I think as well, it's like, if you can get your training done early on, like first thing, then there's less that can sort of interfere with it. So like Phil just said, then obviously it's going to be a priority. So if you get it done first, then even if something does happen in the day, you know what I mean, you've got, I don't know, to dog to the vets or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've already trained. So,
it's out of the way. You've got it done. At least you've got nothing to worry about then throughout the day.
Definitely.
But I'm just reading, actually. First, I don't read a lot, but I'm just starting to read now. The Tia Claire Toomey's book. I don't know if any of you two have read it.
No, I wanted to read it, actually. It's on my list.
No, so I've just started reading that, and that's really good to see, like, of the way that she was brought up. Yeah. And then when she was into athletics the first or whatever, and she was training at 4:30 in the morning just to get that competitive before she went to school and stuff like that. So I think it does work, training in the morning. Obviously, it's different from different people, but
definitely
that's the way I go.
So I've got a couple more quick questions for you before we go on to the fun stuff. And basically, I always think, and I've said it before, that like for me, rugby players make really good CrossFitters because they're intelligent enough to figure it out, but daft enough to go fast.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
so like there's a little bit of that running at a brick wall mentality that's
have no self-preservation.
Just die.
And we've noticed it across a few people. So my question is a bit of a fun question, to be fair, is what player would you sort of pick out as like that would make a really good CrossFitter? So maybe somebody you know if you want, and then we'll go and sell them a membership. But
yeah, that's it. We'll go to them. I'll try and think of someone from Warrington actually, so then we can. I'd say like your Danny Walkers. If you know him, a young lad. I reckon Danny would be good at CrossFit.
I reckon Danny would be good.
Matty Ashton, who's a young lad at Warrington who I played against last year. Imagine him being, just because although he's quite tall in the way, he's so athletic. He's so fast. He's strong within contact. So I can imagine him being quite good at it. And then some of your big lads will be great at the Olympic lifting like they do anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. But I'd probably say Danny or Matty Ashton, two of the younger lads at Warrington that would be good at it.
To be fair, Danny would be my pick of like anybody in the Warrington team as well. He's got the build for it, and he's athletic. he's not too tall. He's not. So yeah, I think Danny.
That's it. He's a bit of a madhead. He'll run into a brick wall for you, so he'll go up.
Give it a good go, won't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's a good lad.
Yeah, I know. We always laugh because my nephew comes to CrossFit when I can make him get down. No matter how, and he used to play rugby. He was on Warrington's books way back. But no matter how many times you tell him, like, just pace it, like, that first round's at 1,000,000 miles an hour, he goes green. Like, keep going, mate.
That's it. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I'm gonna say I'm trying to. A bit of a goal for me at the minute is getting a 5K sub 20, and I just go hard for the first 1 or 2K, and then I dive for the rest of it and just try and hold it on. So not there yet though.
Sounds like CrossFit to me.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, we picking out a player, and again, like, just for Josh's sake as well, I've always said, like, hookers generally make.
Yeah.
But I like, in my opinion, just if you look at
a rugby hooker.
They might make good CrossFitters as well, but yeah, anybody who can play hooker, where they're basically usually a hooker is generally about our height. Let's say our height. I'm the tallest of the three of us, which says a lot. They're generally shortish and have an engine for days, but quick as well. And
definitely, yeah.
So if
like Jackson Hastings, he's from Wigan at the minute now, or Salford last year. He's really into his CrossFit when he trains off it and stuff like that. So
nice.
But I think it's really big in Australia as well, isn't it? So he's come from that background.
Yeah, well, it gets good with when people over there start winning everything, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. They all jump on the bandwagon.
2 of the fittest women on earth, and if it wasn't for that Gerard bloke, I think they'd have.
Yeah, that's true. That
but yeah, no, quite interesting actually that Ricky Gerard, he was a rugby player.
He was, yeah. Actually, we just watched that. It's the first time I got the missus to watch some CrossFit, and she was like, "Wow, I think I actually quite get into it myself." And stuff like that. So she watched the full of the 2017 games. So
nice, I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, like you say, watching, and I think James Newbury as well.
Right. Okay.
I think he was a rugby player. I don't know whether he was league or not, but I think he was a rugby.
Right. Okay. He isn't. No, it's good. Yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, it's cool, and I do like, for those people out there that play rugby and stuff, it does, like, I don't think it crosses over in the sense of how it, like, makes you specifically loads better at the sport, but just
it's just the fitness, the strength, the endurance and the willpower to go and do it is all good within CrossFit and rugby.
For me, what was the biggest crossover was just like the teamwork side of things. Like, although you're working out on your own, there was the team aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Basically brings me on to my last question is obviously team building wise, like, I think rugby would be really good for CrossFit would be really good for rugby teams just because of that shared suffering, which is
definitely you're all going through the same pain at the same time kind of thing. So no, it is good, and that's why I think with Miles at Rochdale we did a lot of the different station WODs, where one's on the assault bike, one's running, one's doing a bit of a clean or something like that, or you're all swapping down and you got a bit of a competition on the board to see who can get the most max calories, whatever it was you're doing. You're all competing, but you've got your groups of 3 that you're working with at the same time. So that was quite good to do.
Awesome. It's good to hear that teams are doing it as well. Right. So, fun questions to finish. I know you said you're not a big reader, but I basically got for a book or a film recommendation, so it can be either or both if you want.
Film. If it's going to be a new film, I've just watched that 21 Bridges, I quite like. Or if it's sport related, I've finished watching The Test, which is to do with the Aussie cricket team.
Right.
Amazon Prime, that's a great watch. You learn a lot about the Australian cricket and whatnot, but also a bit about their lifestyles at the background as well, and how they kind of fell off and come back up succeeding.
I tell you what, it is a good documentary. I've just finished watching it, the Michael Jordan one, The Last Dance.
Right. So I've done started that yesterday, just from the second episode today. So yeah, it does seem good.
I feel like it got better as it went on. I got more and more into it as well. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Oh, yeah. So that's a good one. It's probably in the same sort of vein as like the test. And if you like, I've not watched it. I only added it to my watch list, but it seems similar to like the what was the other one that was on Prime? The New Zealand All Blacks.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen it advertised. I've not watched that yet. So yeah, we'll watch it probably within this lockdown.
Yeah. You can complete Netflix in the lockdown.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. So if you was to be able to pick a profession, any profession in the world, so like obviously that's you're not allowed to say rugby or what you do now, what would it be?
I don't know if most of you know, but I love fishing, so I'll probably go just be a professional fisher.
Excellent.
Carp fishing is what I like. So me and our kid kind of away from rugby, and we'll get on a lake and we'll go and try and catch some fish.
Awesome.
I remember seeing, was it a carp that you caught that time?
Yeah. So
and it was fucking enormous. It was either massive or you were doing this,
hold it like that. Yeah. Also, last year we went to France. Obviously, they got some big carp out there, so we spent a week out there just fishing. Good time to get away, really, after the rugby season, and just have some chill time there behind the lake, really. So I like doing fishing.
I like it. I was laughing today with one of the lads we had on previously. So we had Tom Kelly on, and he did motocross to a reasonably high level, and we were laughing about one of our friends, Daz, who said, "I'd want to be an electrician." Like, got all the things in the world.
You want to pick a trade? No, not for me.
Yeah, I want to be an electrician. And I was just astronaut, electrician.
Yeah, electrician, big jump.
So, love it. Okay, last question. If you could learn anything that you can from anyone, dead or alive, you basically get to sit down with them for 24 hours, chill out. Who would that be? And like basically just absorb as much knowledge, information, skills, that kind of thing? Who would it be? And again, it doesn't have to be rugby related. If it is, great. If not,
yeah. I'd do someone like Muhammad Ali or something along them lines.
Nice.
Yeah.
My answer would be Jordan after watching the Jordan documentary, just because.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad shout. Someone along them sports greats would be sitting down with one of them.
Awesome. Okay, last question. Just what would be what's your, I don't know whether proudest moment, but what's your favourite moment from playing rugby, or what's something that sticks out to you?
You probably see it on Facebook and get shared every year by me, but when I was playing at Whitehaven, their biggest thing is the derbies against Workington. Yeah. So twice on the season I played for Whitehaven, we were drawing, I think it was 18-all. The first game we scored in the corner and I had to kick it right from the touchline to win. Yeah. So we scored, drew in 18-all, had to kick the goal, kicked it from the right-hand side straight over. So we won that derby with 2 points after the whistle blew.
Nice.
We then went to their place later on in the season and the exact same thing happened again. He couldn't really believe it, couldn't write it. I think it was like 22-all this time. We just scored after the whistle, kick it over, and I managed to get it again. So that's probably my proudest moment.
So you're Workington's most hated person, is that right?
That's it, yeah. Whitehaven, a legend, but on the other side of the bridge, it's not
good. Just every time they see you come on the pitch, no matter who you're playing for, now it's like, I fucking hate him.
Yeah, that's it. It was funny though, we went back with Rochdale last year, and I kicked the goal to win against Whitehaven. So I kind of flipped sides there, but it's funny. Yeah.
One cut that guy's foot off.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be gone soon.
Awesome. Right. Well, thanks very much for that, Dan. Really appreciate you taking some time to come on with us today and have a chat. I think the rugby fans amongst us will really enjoy it. But like I say, hopefully the CrossFitters and all the regular Joes that are just joining in. We'll appreciate it as well. We've actually had some really nice reviews over the past couple of days. We had somebody review and just say that they really like the fact that we've not got any that we've not always interviewing superstars. And I was like,
I'm not including you, Dan. You're clearly a superstar.
No, not quite.
But like they were talking about like your Rich Fronings and your Matt Frasers and stuff like that. They were saying that, and they like the fact that we've got people that have to work hard for it, which is, I think, sums it up really. So we've had some really nice reviews about stuff like that. So I think people will really enjoy this one, and like the current people who listen to it will definitely enjoy it as well. So again, thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Awesome work. Just really quickly, thank you everyone that's tuned in today. Please like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. If you're on Facebook, share it on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star review if possible. Cheers, guys. Peace.